Hi guys, it's Morgan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Volume 1 of Season 5 of Stranger Things. Now, if you haven't seen Volume 1 of Season 5 of Stranger Things, there will be spoilers in this review, so stop watching if you don't want to be spoiled. So, here's my review of Volume 1 of Season 5 of Stranger Things. Even though I don't like seeing Will scared, I think it's helpful whenever we get to see moments of Will in the Upside Down, since it helps us understand what his experience was actually like. And I thought it was cute to see that he built himself a version of the fort that he had in the real world. However, I was worried for Will when he was taken to Vecna, since it was obvious that whatever Vecna had planned for Will was not good. Dustin's personality has really changed from how it was in the previous seasons. But it's obvious that Eddie dying last season and the fact that everyone in Hawkins believes that Eddie was a horrible person is the reason for Dustin's behavior. But it was nice to see Lucas, Mike, and Will stand up for Dustin when he was being bullied. Even though I also understood why Dustin was upset with them, since they told him that they had to blend in. I really hope that by the time Stranger Things ends, the people in Hawkins will learn that Eddie really wasn't a bad guy. Now, I really love Nancy and Jonathan together, and I also really love Steve, but I couldn't help but think while watching Jonathan and Steve fight over who was going to climb the tower to fix the issue with Robin's radio show was really childish. I know that they both wanted Nancy's attention, but I couldn't help but think that if they kept this up, Nancy isn't going to want to be with either one of them. But it was funny when, after they fixed the issue and they looked down to let Nancy and Robin know, Nancy and Robin were gone because Murray had made a delivery. And thanks to the information that Murray gave them, Robin was able to use her radio show to let Mike, Lucas, Dustin, Will, Joyce, Hopper, and Eleven know that they were going to be doing a crawl that night. I didn't blame Holly's teacher for being concerned when she saw what looked like Holly talking to nothing, since it was obvious that Holly was really talking to Vecna, and there was a good reason to be worried. But since everyone was focused on the upcoming crawl, no one realized that they should have been worried about Holly until it was too late. But it was nice seeing Mike comfort Holly and give her the Holly the Heroic action figure. It made me really happy when Will saw Robin and Vicky together, since it showed Will that he knew someone who was gay like him, and I loved that Will got a chance to talk to Robin about it, and he asked her how she knew that Vicky liked her, since even though Will had Jonathan's support last season, which was obviously also great, being able to talk to someone who also knows what Will is feeling clearly helped him. When Eleven and Mike were talking about what will happen after they finally defeat Vecna, and talking about starting over outside of Hawkins, I was hoping that it'll happen for them, but I was also nervous, since usually in movies and TV shows, when characters talk about what they plan to do once the villain is defeated, things don't usually go according to their plan. So it made me wonder if Eleven or Mike might die before the end of the show. Obviously, I hope that doesn't happen, but since this is the last season, we all have to admit that some characters are most likely going to die. When Hopper was in the Upside Down hiding in the military truck and the Demigorgons were attacking and all the soldiers died, I was worried for him, just because I had a feeling that if Hopper died, then he was really going to be dead this time, since they already faked Hopper's death before, so I was thinking they wouldn't do that again. So it worked out well when Eleven went into the Upside Down to look for Holly, and she met up with Hopper. It was also funny seeing how confused Hopper was when Eleven was talking about Karen and Holly, since he obviously had no idea what happened. Joyce has always been my favorite mom on Stranger Things, but she's now tied with Karen, because Karen was amazing fighting the Demigorgon to protect Holly. It just showed what mothers are willing to do to protect their children. And even though Holly was still taken, I'm hoping that Karen gets better soon, because I really want her to join the team that's fighting against Vecna, because I think she'll be a great fit. And if she does end up helping, then Mike and Nancy won't have to keep what they've been doing from their mom anymore. I was glad when Mike shared his theories with Nancy about Holly's imaginary friend, Mr. Whatsit, being real. They just couldn't figure out why no one else could see him, and why he didn't tell the rest of them that Holly was in danger. But I was annoyed that they didn't even consider the fact that Holly's imaginary friend could be Vecna. I mean, after everything they've been through, they didn't even entertain that possibility. And it wasn't until Karen wrote down that Mr. Whatsit's first name was Henry that they made the connection. I understood that Joyce wanted to keep Will safe, But it was really funny when Robin created a fake issue with the flux capacitor and said that she needed Will's help to fix it so she could talk to Will about how she thought his idea to use his connection to Vecna to figure out what Vecna's next move was good, even though Joyce turned it down. So they were going to have to do it behind Joyce's back. It was also really funny seeing Jonathan, Steve, and Dustin's faces when Joyce asked them about the flux capacitor, since they knew that it wasn't a real thing. And it was understandable why Joyce was upset when she found Will and Robin, but it was good that Will told Joyce that their plan worked, since they were able to find out who Vecna's next victim was. It was also really funny when Robin told Joyce that next time they will try to leave a note. I was worried for Eleven and Hopper when they were hiding from the military soldiers in the Upside Down, especially since the soldiers' frequency was affecting Eleven and they could hear the sounds of Eleven in pain. So it was good when Hopper started shooting at the soldiers, since it obviously took them by surprise, since they didn't realize that Eleven wasn't alone. And it also took them by surprise that Hopper had grenades, but it just proved even more what we already knew, that Hopper would risk his life for Eleven. The fact that Jonathan has an engagement ring hidden in a cassette tape case makes me really excited, but it also makes me a little nervous, since I obviously hope the proposal to Nancy goes well, but I also can't help but think that there could be a chance that something bad might happen. For example, what if before Jonathan even gets a chance to propose to Nancy, he'll see Nancy and Steve together doing something innocent, but Jonathan will end up getting jealous and drop the ring and walk away. And then Nancy might find the ring, but before she gets a chance to talk to Jonathan about it, Jonathan dies. Obviously, I hope that that doesn't happen, but you never know. I've always loved seeing Eleven and Hopper working together, so seeing Hopper question the soldier while Eleven was searching inside the soldier's brain was no exception. And thanks to their teamwork, Eleven and Hopper were able to find out about Dr. K and find out that she was looking for Eleven, even though the soldier didn't know why. But while Eleven was in the soldier's brain, she saw a metal door, and even though she couldn't open it, she told Hopper that she believed that Dr. K had someone with the same powers that Eleven has. And even though Eleven told Hopper that she thought it was Vecna, I couldn't help but think that it was actually Callie, aka 8 from season 2. And I was right. I was very happy when the group included Erica in their plan, since she's always entertaining. And they were able to use Erica's friendship with Derek's sister Tina, so Erica could go to Derek and Tina's house with a pie that had drugs in it that knocked out Derek and his parents. It was also really funny how many times Erica tried to get Tina to eat the pie, but she wouldn't. So Erica had to inject Tina with the drug herself. But in Tina's defense, she just saw her parents and brother pass out, and then Erica revealed that she was behind it. So it was understandable that Tina freaked out. But their plan worked, and they were able to put a tracker on the Demogorgon when it showed up at Derek's house to get Derek. But then the plan ended up not going so well when Will realized that the Demogorgon knew where they were. Now, I love Joyce, but the fact that she actually believed Derek when he promised that he would come with them if they untied him was stupid, since it was obvious that Derek was going to fight back once he was untied. But after the Demogorgon showed up, Derek realized that Joyce, Will, Robin, and Erica were telling the truth, and luckily they were able to stop the Demogorgon from taking Derek. But Steve, Jonathan, Nancy, and Dustin decided to drive into the Upside Down so they could follow the Demogorgon on its own turf. And I'm just hoping that nothing bad happens to any of them while they're in the Upside Down. But I can't help but wonder, since they're in the Upside Down, is there a chance that Dustin is going to find Eddie's body? That just makes me feel really sad even suggesting that that might happen. And I'm sorry for anyone who's watching this that I just made sad from saying that. But if that does happen, I feel like that scene will finally fix Dustin and Steve's relationship, because I really want their relationship to go back to how it was in previous seasons. I didn't blame the kids for being nervous when they were on the bus on the way to the military base, but I was wondering how Dr. K knew that those kids were in danger. Maybe she found out from Kylie? Also, I know Dr. K said that she wanted to protect those kids, but there was a part of me that was wondering if she was actually trying to make more kids like 11, but as of now, it looks like I'm wrong about that. I also thought it was smart of Mike when he suggested that they should send Derek to the military base, since he was the one kid who wasn't taken there. So that way they would have someone on the inside, and Derek would be able to find other kids who have talked to Mr. Whatsit, and they would be able to keep those kids away from Vecna. For anyone that hasn't seen the play Stranger Things: The First Shadow on Broadway or the West End, Volume 1 has 2 references to the play. One of them is when Max is telling Holly about how she ran into the cave to get away from Henry/Vecna, and that he was too scared to follow her, but she didn't know why. The reason he was scared is explained in the play. I'm not going to say what it is in case they mention it in Volume 2 or the series finale. I don't want to spoil it. Another reference is when Max is walking in the high school memory and sees Joyce in high school passing out flyers for the school musical, which stars Henry Creel. That is also a plot point in the play. I was also glad that Holly believed Max when she told her the truth about Mr. Whatsit, aka Henry, aka Vecna. And I also didn't blame Holly for being nervous when Max told her that she has to go back to Vecna's house while Max comes up with a plan for them to escape, since they need Vecna to believe that Holly still trusts him. I'm also worried that Vecna's going to notice that Holly injured her knee, and then he'll realize that Holly went into the woods even though he told her not to. I'm also hoping that when the kids that the Demogorgons took at the end of Volume 1 join Holly in the house, I hope that Derek will tell Holly that Mike, Nancy, and everyone else are trying to find her. And if he does, based on how Holly feels about Derek, I'm hoping she'll believe him, and I hope that Derek will apologize to Holly. It was really sweet when, after Robin realized that Will had a crush on Mike, she told Will about her crush on Tammy and how she thought that if Tammy loved her, then she wouldn't be scared of who she was anymore. But after Tammy fell for Steve, Robin found a film that she had made in 4th grade, and after seeing how fearless her younger self was, Robin realized that it was never about Tammy and that she had all the answers. She just had to stop being scared of who she was. And when she did that, she felt free, since even though she was talking about herself, Robin was also telling Will that the same thing can happen for him. When Dr. K was talking to Eleven, at first it seemed like she cared about her, but it became clear that she just wanted Eleven to trust her, since she clearly didn't care about Hopper, since she was watching him be strangled, and told him that she would save him if he told her what he knew that she didn't. But Hopper didn't say anything. But luckily, Eleven was able to stab Dr. K with scissors, and Hopper knocked her out. I wonder if this is the last we'll see of Dr. K, because I'm pretty sure she's not dead, unless being stabbed with scissors and getting knocked out killed her. So I feel like we'll probably see her in more episodes, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. It was also really heartbreaking when Eleven realized that Hopper had a bomb strapped to his chest, and he said that if he goes, he's taking Vecna with him. It was also really sweet when Hopper told Eleven how proud he was of her, but I still didn't want him to die, so it was a relief when he came back and he showed Eleven that Dr. K didn't have Vecna, she had Kylie. And since you could tell that Eleven and Kylie were clearly happy to see each other, I'm assuming Kylie will agree to help them defeat Vecna. Things were definitely not looking good when the Demigorgons were attacking the military base, but I was really proud of Mike when he tried to get Joyce, Will, Derek, and the other kids out of the military base, even though it didn't work. And things got a lot worse when Vecna showed up and taunted Will. And after Vecna left, the Demigorgons came back and they took all of the kids that Vecna wanted. And right when it looked like everyone was done for, Will remembered some of his childhood memories. And Volume 1 ended with the reveal that because of his connection to Vecna, Will has powers, and he was able to stop the Demigorgons, and his nose started bleeding like Eleven's, which was a great way to end Volume 1, and makes me very excited to see what's going to happen in Volume 2. Thanks for watching, guys! If you saw Volume 1 of Season 5 of Stranger Things, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. And I also have a question for people who've seen Stranger Things: The First Shadow. So if you haven't seen the play and know nothing about it, this question's not going to make sense to you. But for those of you who have seen the play, do you think Patty will make an appearance in a future episode? I hope she will, because I want to see what happens with that. And I want to say that if she does, I don't think she's going to magically make it so Vecna turns good, since he's way too far gone for that. But I feel like she's an important piece of Vecna's backstory, so even if she doesn't make a physical appearance, I hope for at least a mention, because it would be pretty important information to know about the one person that Vecna actually cared about. Now, if you want to see my review for Volume 2 of Season 5 of Stranger Things, and my review of the series finale of Stranger Things, or any of my other future videos, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!